share some hacks that most people don't know about their personal credit. So we're
Yeah,
going
absolutely.
to uncover a lot of hidden things that you might not know about to keep your credit scores high. I did have some other things that I wanted to chat with you about that. You were mentioning when to pay off stuff that's like settled or old collections. Like, is it worth it to pay it off?
So yes and no. Everything I say is out of both sides of my mouth because there are no two credit reports created the same. Okay. The good thing about us, I like what you do already is, you'll send the client over. Hey, can you answer this question? Because I'm a loan guy. I
Yeah.
don't even do credit on, I don't even do that on TV. But answer the question. And it's not going to cost the client something just to ask questions. So out here you have let's say you have Verizon as your household internet and cable,
Okay.
or Comcast or whoever you have out there, and you move
Mhm.
and it hits your credit. That's something you want to pay because it just hit your credit. Hit your credit 6 months, 9 months after you moved.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm also going to give everybody another piece of advice. If you move, call your electric company, your gas company, your whoever, your cable company, your internet company. You call them all. You find out if there's a small bill left over. If they tell you
Mm,
there's a $75 bill left over and you don't agree with it, pay the bill.
not worth
Fight
it.
them afterwards. It's $75, it's $100, it's $200, whatever it is.
Oh, okay. You could still fight them then.
You can fight it afterwards and get in touch with their management team, whatever. But if it hits your credit, they destroy your credit.
Yeah.
Anything that's
A collection is
telecommunications,
horrible in there. Yeah.
yeah, well, especially anything telecommunications or
Mm.
energy related, they have a higher weight on the credit report than anything else. And
Oh,
that's a lobbying thing. That's a political lobbying thing that they
okay.
do.
Wow.
And they
I
make
had
it
no idea.
yeah, they make it hurt your credit so bad that you have to pay it. So it's not worth it. Pay the $100, fight them afterwards. I'd
Yeah,
rather be out $100 and have an 800 score than stick to my guns and end up losing 120 points and be at a 680.
for sure. Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, should I pay it? If it's new within 2 years and it's legitimate, pay it.
Okay.
If it's something old, again, depend upon what state someone's in. Some states like New Hampshire is 4 years, Massachusetts 6 years, Hawaii is 6 years. Certain states have different statutes of limitations on collections.
Uh-huh.
Everything goes by activity date. Activity date is another word for payment date. So everything goes off of that last payment date. So in Hawaii and Massachusetts, as an example,
Hmm.
they have 6 year statute of limitations. That means the original creditor has 6 years from the last payment date that you made to take you to court.
Okay.
Okay. Once it goes over 6 years, they cannot legally collect from you anymore. They can still call you, they can still send letters, they can do it for the rest of your life, but it doesn't mean anything. And after 7 years from that last payment date, the item's going to fall off your credit anyhow.
You don't need to pay it. You could just like let it hang out and it'll just go away on its own.
Correct. Unless Jason pulls your credit and he said, hey, listen, my underwriters say you have to pay that off. I can give you this loan, but you got to pay it. Then you need to do what Jason tells you to do. Like
Okay.
that's how it works, right?
It has to do 7 years to get off of the credit report, right?
Correct. From the last payment date. So
Okay.
here's
Last
where,
payment date. Not
right,
when
here's,
the collection starts, but
right.
the last reporting of it.
It's not the reporting, because they can report every month. It's all about activity, last payment date.
Last payment. Okay, so if you got the collection and you never paid it, then it's 7 years from that date that the collection starts.
From the date, no, from the last payment on the original creditor.
Oh,
Because the collection might not be open for a year or 2 years after you stop paying it.
okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. This is great. This is really good.
So the good thing is about that, right? Anything that happens in the last, so if you pay that off, let's say you have to pay it off. Jason says, Bill, pay that off. I need
Yep.
it gone. I can give you the money otherwise. So here's where being strategic really matters.
Hmm.
So that last payment date, great. Bill pays it off. Yes, it's going to show a zero balance collection now, but now it's going to weigh on his credit because it was already 6 years old.
Hmm.
Now it's 30 days old. His score is going to, even though he paid it, his score is going to go down. So
Mm.
here's where things can get, really, really, really tricky and it can work out. Jason calls me. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. We talk to the borrower. There are things that can be done on the closing table. Because if you do that a month ahead or 2 months ahead, within 60 days or whatever it is, that score is going to drop however many points. It might put you out of that loan. So Jason might be able to work out something where you can do it on the closing day or right before the closing day, right? And of the loan, it's a condition of the loan. Okay, a check is written and it's sent off to that company
Hmm.
at that time, right? and then it doesn't affect the score. It gets taken care of, doesn't
Right,
affect the
right, yeah.
score, and you get your
Uh,
loan. It's using the process.
yeah, it's really, I mean, understanding the process and what goes into the credit reporting models, it's so key because you can kind of hack the system a bit. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, like I try and get my clients to move their personal stuff onto the business where it belongs, if it is business debt, because when you go to pull the credit report later on, that debt doesn't show up anymore and their scores are going to be higher because the personal FICO, you know, if it's a business account and it's against their EIN versus their personal credit report, then their personal credit report is going to report high. And that will bump them into the next tier to help them get a better approval a lot of times.
Absolutely. That's what we do. We'll work together. If I think, someone needs professional help, we scrub credit, we scrub items on credit.
Mhm.
Maybe there's a collection that can be negotiated where we do what's called a pay for delete, which means you pay it or we can settle it for less
Mhm.
and get it removed. It doesn't necessarily have to come off right that second because it could take 30 to 45 days or 60 days.
Sure.
But I would request a letter from that collection agency saying that they're going to remove it from the credit report. Jason would need that for him, and what he would do is he would send that into underwriting or whoever it is, and then they get that factored into the score with the letter from that collection agency. So that's why doing things the right way
Yeah.
can really, really, really save you a lot of money. And like you said earlier, there's a big difference between a 740 and a 680. A
Huge.
680 is
Yeah.
considered a good score. It is. It's considered
Passable
good credit.
sometimes, but it's, yeah, the lenders,
Yeah, business
very
business loans
gray,
are different. Yeah, business
very
loans are different.
gray. Yeah, you're kind of in the danger zone.
Yeah, and it costs you just so much money with everything,
Yep. Yeah. I mean, long term, if you can keep it, I always tell clients, like, if you can keep it above 720 and then the 30% utilization, most of the time, if you can just pay your bills, keep it under the 30%, you're probably going to be around a 720 or better. Then I
Yeah, and
can
if
get
you
you
have
whatever you need.